Okay, here we have an e27 single lever hydraulic unit. This was a spare one I had. Just bought the bits to see how it worked because we wanted to rig up external double acting remotes. This is your input where your drive shaft drives in. That's your actual vanes of your pump, working eccentric in this thing here, which you can see is offset. So that's your actual pump. That goes on to this bit. That's your suction hole, that's your delivery hole. Just trying to nut this thing out, that's where your suction filter is. That's your external supply port, which we'll get to in a minute. This little hole here is your vent pipe when you're in hold with oil vents. This appears to be your main valve, which seems to control everything. It's centralised by a spring under this, and another spring, seems to be another spring in behind that. This appears to be the kicker that kicks it out of gear, and it also seems to influence this port over here, this valve, and that's the actual detent. They all are worked by the cams here on your handle. That's in drop now. This screw just here controls how fast it drops, or how far it opens this valve over here. And that's in lift there now. So in lift, this top cam here goes in, pushes this in, that diverts oil into the pressure side. It comes out, this port here, this is the seal here on top of the ram. This is the ram in here, which is compressed between the base of the unit and where the pump body bolts on. There's its own filter in the end of the ram there. This is the side plate that covers the valve gear. This unit is full of water, no oil at all water and a little bit of grease at the bottom, as you can see by the water level mark. This is your rear cover, as we've seen. This is where you normally would feed back in if you've got external remotes. Coming back to the external remotes, that is this side plate here, goes on there, just pushes into there and is held in by the side plate bolting down. Now inside that goes in there and seats in there and is supported in the end there. This appears to be a sequencing valve. Very good. I can't find much information out about these, about flow rates and pressures and so on, but it looks like this valve holds pressure to make the linkage lift up to a certain point and then opens and feeds out to the external port. And this here appears to be the actual blow off. You've got a little multi-leaf spring with a detent under it. So that would then supply power for a single acting ram. In the case of a double acting, you take that out to a double acting valve and return back through the end plate. This plunger here does seem as if it may, you can't really feel it, may push on the end of this to cause that to open when you want to drop a single acting valve. But it has no perceptible movement, but it does appear from the wear marks that it pushes on the end. And that's it. We're back up to cleaning it all up, putting it back together, and then we'll pressure test it, volume test it, and see just what these units do. And I'll put that in the comments.